Okay, students. So on the last day we have completed the practical by theoretical manner, that we have discussed the theoretical part of the practical, that is the definition related to its and the description of the experiment, what to do on this background. Okay, some new knowledge we have gained also from that practicals. Okay, so now from today we will discuss some question answer from the beginning chapter, that is from the first chapter. So your first chapter, that is matter in our surrounding, you know that your final exam will cover all the chapters. Okay, so for this we will revise, and at the time of revision we will also discuss some of the question answer from that particular chapter. So today we will start from chapter number 1, that is matter in our surrounding. Okay, till now it is not known when your final exam will be held. Okay, but we should have to be prepared ourselves. Okay, now come to the very beginning of that chapter. There in that particular chapter, here a discussion on the matter is there. Matter is made up of particles. Now the particle, what is the particle? In which entity the particle is present? All over the substances present in the earthy world, here it is the particles is present, and the particles is of, it is the particle may be of sand, particle may be of the stone particle may be of the chalk, or particle of very micro other substances. Next one, here is a pictorial is given, that particle of water magnified millions of times. So water also having the particles. Now the very small particle, what is the name of the very small particles ever known? Atom. Yes. Now, yes, this is correct. Okay, so look at this, the picture in page number first, that is page number 1. Here when the water is magnified, here the particles are shown. Okay, and when salt is mixed, then its particle also can be seen by the magnifying glass or the ultra microscope. Next is, how small are these particles of matter? Now here the dimension of the matter is to be discussed. Now here the particle size is in the unit of from Armstrong unit. Okay, now Armstrong unit, that is, it represented in the form of 10 to the power minus 8 centimeter or 10 to the power minus 10 meter. Okay, the experiment shows that just a few crystals of potassium permanganate. Now what is potassium permanganate? Potassium permanganate is a compound having dark purple color, can color a large volume of water, about 1 liter. Just 1 or 2 of its particle can colorize 1000 ml of water. So we conclude that there must be millions of tiny particles in just one crystal of potassium permanganate, which kept on dividing themselves into smaller and smaller particles. Oh, and we know that the smallest particle is the atom. Further on, atom can be subdivided, but up to this we have known, that is, the atom is the smallest one. The atom activity can be done using 2 ml of Dettol instead of potassium permanganate. The smell can be detected even on repeated dilution. Dilution, what is dilution? Do you know the meaning of dilution? Okay. Okay, now just look at the picture. This is a container. Here you have given two components. Number one, 10 gram sugar, and number two, 100 ml water. Okay, this is the mother solution. Now you pour here 10 gram water, then added 100 ml of water. So the volume is roughly about 100 ml. Roughly it is about 100 ml. Now when you will add extra water, here the role of water is that. What is the role of water? Water is the solvent. Now we have known the definition of solvent, solute, etc. So here sugar is the solute and water is the solvent. We adding extra solvent to that solution. Suppose you have added 50 ml water. Okay, then the final solution, it is roughly about 150 ml. So this solution is diluted one. Okay, so when we decreasing the strength of the solute in a solution by adding solvent, then it is called as dilution. What is the definition? That when we decreasing the concentration of the solute in a solution by adding the solvent, then it is called as dilution. It is also true, not only it is for the sugar, it is also true for all the solutions. It is a property of the solution that it can be diluted, because solution is homogeneous in nature. So which as the solution is homogeneous in nature, so its nature cannot be changed when we diluted it. For this we can dilute it to thousands of its time. So when we add solvent to a concentrated solution, it becomes dilute. Understood? This is about dilution. Particles of matter are continuously moving. Now, do you know about the movement that is also mentioned here? What is this movement is called? You may have seen a picture like that. Suppose okay, so these are the movement of the particles. These lines showing the movement of the particle, and these are in zigzag motion, and always colliding with another one particle. This is in zigzag motion and always colliding with another particle. So this kind of motion, it is continuously undergoing on the solution. Okay. Next one. What is about kinetic energy? Do you know the definition of kinetic energy? Kinetic energy. Yes, this is anotherly called as Brownian motion. What is kinetic energy? Object is in motion. Yes. So the energy gained due to its motion. So as the particle are moving with a motion, that is velocity. Here the velocity is not fixed. Here the velocity is always changing, because when it's colliding with another one particle, the motion or the kinetic energy is decreases, and at the same time the another one particle gets extra energy due to this collision, and this is increase in their energy. So the kinetic energy is due to motion. What is the form of that kinetic energy? What is the mathematical expression of that kinetic energy? Half mv square. Here m is the mass, v is the velocity. You know this from physics. Now kinetic energy is mentioned here. As temperature rises, particle moves faster. Why? Particles moves faster. This is due to the increase in the kinetic energy. As the velocity, the temperature will increase, the V will increase. So as the V will increase, the kinetic energy also will increase. Okay, so we can say that with increase in the temperature, the kinetic energy of the particles also increases. In the above three activities, we observe that the particle of matter intermix on their own with each other. They do so by getting into the spaces between the particle. The intermixing of particle of two different types of matter on their own is called diffusion. So here the diffusion is given. What is diffusion? That is intermixing of particles. Okay, so intermixing of particles of two different types of matter on their own is called diffusion. So there is a key word, that is intermixing, and number two is that of their own. There is no driving force implied here. No driving force is implied. For this, it is done by the solutions or the materials or the substance itself. So here you will remember the definition and also write down the question, that what is the diffusion. Okay, now particles of matter, it attract each another. Now these having a large expansion, because why the particles are attracting each another, there is a kind of force which is called as van der Waals force. Van der Waals is the name of scientist. Later on class 11, you will know about details of this van der Waals force. Now the van der Waals force is the force within the particle. Why this force is there? It is due to some the charge separation in the particle. Because of, as there is the collision is there, so due to the collision, the particles are electrically charged. Okay, so as they are electrically charged, they are having some attractive force in themselves. Okay, if there is neutral, then there will be no attractive forces. But if there is some kind of separation of charge, because all the particles, as we completed the syllabus, we know that the particles ultimately goes to atom, and atom will be subdivided to proton and electron. Okay, so in all the materials or all the particles, they are having the key subatom, proton and electron. So electron, when displaced from this own position, it creates some charge in that body. So this is anotherly called as separation of charge, and due to this separation of charge, the van der Waals force is the main factor of that attractive force. Okay, now there is a question is given. Now I am coming to the next page, page number 4, states of matter. Now here the state, that is solid, liquid, gas, already known to you. Okay, now the states of matter, the solid state, the liquid state and the gaseous state. Now compare these three kinds of state with its kinetic energy and represent on the chat box. Compare the three kinds of states of matter, that is solid, liquid and gas. Compare it with kinetic energy, that is which one having least kinetic energy and which one having highest kinetic energy. Can we arrange it with increasing kinetic energy? Increasing kinetic energy, can we arrange it? Okay, so gas is the highest. So with solid, then liquid, then gas. So this is the increasing order of kinetic energy in the three states of matter. Now what are the characteristics of the solid state? Definite shape, distinct boundaries, fixed volume. These are the characteristics of solid state. The liquid state, no fixed shape but have a fixed volume, but the gaseous state, they are having no such fixed volume or no shape is there. Now in page number 5, here is the assumption or the diagrammatic representation of these three kinds of matter. Can matter change its state? Can matter change its state? Obviously matter can change its shape, its state from one state to another one. Now look at the picture, that figure 1.6a and b. Now look at the setup, that there is an iron stand. What is the role of thermometer here? What is the role of thermometer here? Now you can see that below the reaction compartment there is a burner. Now burner obviously supply the heat to the reaction system. So this will be detected by the thermometer. So it is the indicator of the temperature. Okay, now glass stirrer, ice and beaker. In the next one, in B, it is a liquid that will be, when we will increase the temperature, it will transfer to the vapor step. Now here the important areas is that, what is the melting point? What is the melting point? The melting point of a solid is an indicator of the strength of force of attraction between them. Now, the temperature at which a solid melts to become a liquid at an atmospheric pressure is called melting point. So, atmospheric pressure is important because the melting point is that when the pressure of its vapor will be equal to its atmospheric pressure. Okay. Next one is the latent heat. Now here only the definition of melting point is there. So in that way we will also do the what is the boiling point in the same way. Now what is latent heat? Why it is called hidden? What is latent heat? Latent heat, the heat energy supplies to the system that will only change the state, but no change in its temperature. So only to change the state, change of state, and there will be no change in their temperature. These 2 points you have to remember for latent heat. The amount of heat energy that is required to change 1 kilogram of solid into liquid at atmospheric pressure at its melting point is known as the latent heat of fusion. So fusion is the process of that from ice to water. So the particles in water at 0 degree centigrade have more energy as compared to the particles in ice at the same temperature, because this latent heat energy which is supplied to convert from ice to water is on the particles of water, but it is less energetic with respect to that heat content. The temperature at which a liquid starts boiling at the atmospheric pressure is known as its boiling point. So here the definition of melting point and boiling point, very important. Now from boiling there is a distinction, that is how boiling is different from evaporation. Okay, now the question is that distinguish between or comparison of evaporation and boiling. Comparison between evaporation and boiling. So here some words is given that it is a bulk phenomenon. Okay, the evaporation may occur at any temperature, but the boiling at a fixed temperature. Here the atmospheric pressure is very takes an important role to determine the boiling point, but here in evaporation it is a surface phenomenon and can occur at any temperature, so there is no such role in case of evaporation. So these are the keywords with the distinction. Now come on, the flow chart is given that solid state when it is supplied to the heat it is liquid, and liquid when get heated it is gaseous state. Now what is sublimation? Can you name one substance that directly goes from solid state to the gaseous state? Can you name one of the substance that directly goes from solid state to liquid state? Solid state when it is heated, vapor. No, it is not ice. No, from solid to vapor, that is sublimation. This is the liquefaction, that is from solid to liquid. But here from solid to vapor state, the process is called as sublimation. Ammonium chloride. Ammonium chloride is the name of the substance which directly goes from solid state to vapor state when it is heated. Here look at the activity 1.13 in the page number 8. The experiment, just a funnel which is on the covered in a china dish which is heated, and the mouth of the funnel is enclosed with a cotton plug. So you can see at the upper layer or upper portion or in the tube the layer of ammonium chloride. Okay, next, effect of change of pressure. So when the pressure is increased, then what happened? We can change, as the heat energy is one medium to change from one state to another one. Pressure also takes a great role, because if you follow the definition, there is definition you can see that the temperature at which it start boiling at the atmospheric pressure. So atmospheric pressure is the fixed pressure, that is 736 bar pressure. But if we alter the pressure, which is done if we goes at the mine or if we goes at the top of any mountain, then as it is the change of distance from the earth surface, so here the atmospheric pressure also changes, and we can see the fluctuation in its boiling point and melting point, etc. Now there is a condition is that applying pressure and reducing temperature, we can liquefy a gas. Applying pressure, what will do? The pressure will concise the volume, and when we reduce the temperature, it will also decrease its kinetic energy. So as the kinetic energy will be less and also the volume will be less, so it will automatically will be converted to its liquid state, that is from gaseous state to liquid state. How it is done? It is done by using piston and cylinder. Okay, now here the evaporation is given. Now the factors affecting evaporation, there the points is given, that is at the wind speed, surface area, okay, increase in pressure, also decrease in the humidity. These are also key points. So here our question is, what is evaporation? What are the factors on which evaporation depends? And then the last is how evaporation causes to cooling. How does evaporation cause cooling? Because of this heat energy which is transferred from the one body to the another one due to the latent heat. Okay, and the last there is a two states also given, that is plasma state, that is in high energy state, and the Bose-Einstein condensate BEC, which is also the lowest energy state. No, evaporation is not a bulk phenomenon. Boiling is a bulk phenomenon. Evaporation is a surface phenomenon. Yes, your examination might be conducted offline. It is not clearly to me also, but it might be offline. So you will regard that matter on case of offline exam. Okay, so that's all for today. Now you go through all the parts of this chapter. Next day I will start the question, inquiring of question to you. Okay, by the name, one by one. Okay, so thank you.